What if I told you that one of the richest men in Mexico started out earning just a few bucks per fight? And that today, while you're watching this video, there's someone out there making over $60,000 for every minute he spends in the ring. But the most shocking part isn't that. It's the secret he keeps at his private ranch, far from the cameras, where very few have ever been allowed in. Saúl Canelo Álvarez wasn't always the multimillionaire everyone envies. Behind every punch, every victory, and every title belt, there's a story not many know. A story of poverty, extreme discipline, and decisions that made him rich. Filthy rich. But what does a man like that do with so much money? How does someone who's earned hundreds of millions with his fists actually live? Today you're going to discover something you won't find in any other video. We're not just going to tell you how much Canelo makes per fight, we're going to show you how he built an empire. From secret mansions to a ranch filled with thoroughbred horses and luxuries that even Hollywood stars can't match. And yes, we'll show you images that have never been seen before. But before that, tell me something. If you had $275 million in the bank, would you still wake up at 5 a.m. to train until you bleed? Or would you leave it all behind and live like a king? Drop your answer in the comments, because what you're about to see will change your mind. Because Canelo is not just a boxer. He's a businessman, an investor, a collector, and maybe one of the most underrated financial minds in all of sports. His moves outside the ring are just as sharp as his punches. And every decision has helped him build a lifestyle so exaggerated, so impressive, that you need to see it to believe it. It all started in Jalisco. A red-headed boy who sold popsicles to help his family. Nobody bet on him. And yet today, his name is up there with legends like Mayweather and Tyson. But unlike many champions who ended up broke, Canelo multiplied his money with a cold precision that's almost scary. And in this video you'll see how he did it. From his first big paycheck of $17,000 in 2010, Canelo understood something most athletes don't. Money is earned in the ring, but it's kept outside of it. Slowly but surely, he built something bigger than a career. He built a financial legacy. That kid who once fought to survive was soon cashing checks worth millions. His fight against Mayweather in 2013 was a turning point. Even though he lost in the ring, he won something much more valuable: global visibility. That night, he walked away with $12 million and the attention of the world. Everything changed after that. But hold on, because this is where it gets even crazier. What Canelo did next was even more impressive. While everyone was talking about his fights, he was investing in businesses few even knew about. Did you know he now owns his own chain of gas stations? All that he runs a growing retail empire across Mexico? Yeah, Canelo didn't settle for winning fights. He wanted to win at everything. He launched brands, signed multi-million-dollar deals, and started building a small empire. His boxing promotions company, his clothing line, his nutrition app, every project was a strategic move. But the most mind-blowing part is what he did with his homes. Because that's where the money really shows. His mansion in Guadalajara is next level. Over 4,000 square meters of pure luxury. Giant bedrooms with marble bathrooms, a personalized poker room, a terrace that fits 200 guests, private guest houses. Who needs a hotel when you can live like this? But the craziest part, he wants to sell it. Why would anyone sell a mansion like that? The answer will blow your mind. Canelo is building a new home. But not just any home. It's inspired by the most exclusive mansions in Bel Air, the Los Angeles neighborhood where legends like Michael Jackson and Jennifer Aniston live. Can you imagine a property like the one but in Jalisco? That's what Canelo is building. A mansion so grand, even his most loyal fans have no idea what it'll look like. Only he knows what's coming. And that's not his only property. In San Diego, he bought a house for nearly $6 million with a home theater, gym, spa, waterfall pool, and even a pizza oven. Because when you've got hundreds of millions, you can treat yourself. But there's one spot very few know about. A place with no cameras, no reporters. A private ranch where he lives, surrounded by his horses. And we're not talking about just any horses. He owns 38 purebred champions, cared for with the same dedication he brings to his training. That ranch alone is worth $500,000 just for the land. But to Canelo, it's worth way more. It's his sanctuary, his escape, the place where everything makes sense. And right now, while you're watching this video, he's probably there, riding one of his horses, or planning his next business move. Because if there's one thing Canelo doesn't know how to do, it's stand still. Now tell me, did you ever imagine a boxer could live like this? Do you think he deserves everything he has? Or do you believe fame has changed him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're just as surprised as I am by all of this, hit that like button and share the video with someone who still thinks boxers only live for the ring. Because what you're seeing here is just the beginning. In just a moment, you'll find out how Canelo can earn more in a single night than a movie star makes in a whole film. And what he does with that money will leave you speechless. Are you ready? Because what comes next is even more incredible. But what would you do with $500,000? An apartment? A business? A trip around the world? For Canelo Álvarez, that amount is just a small piece of his garage. And no, we're not exaggerating. Because what you're about to see looks more like a museum of speed and luxury than a boxer's collection. And that's not even the most shocking part. The real madness isn't what he owns, but why he owns it. Every car, every plane, every motorcycle has a hidden purpose, a silent obsession that few know about. But before we get into that, you have to see with your own eyes what only 1% of the world's millionaires could even dream of. First, the King of Kings. His Ferrari LaFerrari. A car that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie, priced at $4 million. Only a lucky few in the world can own it, and Canelo is one of them. Why? Because this beast is not only hybrid, it's the fastest car in his collection. And according to those close to him, he bought it during a personal crisis. What was he trying to compensate for? But that's just the beginning. Right next to it, as if it were just another ornament, sits a six-wheeled beast that looks like a war tank, the Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 66. Only 200 exist in the entire world. Just 200. And one is in Guadalajara, in his garage. It's worth nearly $1 million, and its sheer size is so imposing that when he drives it, people can't help but stop and stare. But do you know why Canelo chose that specific model? There's a story behind it, and it has to do with a promise he made before becoming a world champion. And if you thought that was all, wait until you hear the roar of the Lamborghini Aventador, valued at over $400,000. Its engine is so powerful it's received fines just for being turned on. Literally. But what few know is that this car was his self-gift after one of his toughest fights. One that, as he himself confessed, he almost lost due to a personal distraction. Have you ever rewarded yourself with something expensive for a big achievement? Imagine doing it with a Lambo. But even the Aventador looks modest next to the Bugatti Chiron, a machine worth $2.5 million that reaches over 260 miles per hour. It's so exclusive you can't even walk into a dealership to buy it. You need approval from the brand. And what did Canelo do? He personally called Bugatti's CEO. Because that's how things are done when the world is at your feet. Now, how do you think it feels to drive something like that? Speed or power? And when he wants to travel without drawing too much attention, he gets into his Rolls-Royce Ghost. Priced at over €400,000, this car is pure silence and sophistication. It's like a luxury lounge on wheels. But the most curious part is that it's the car he uses the most to visit his family. Because despite everything, he's still the kid from Jalisco who started selling ice cream on the street. That contrast between humility and opulence is what hits the hardest. And just in case the Aventador wasn't enough, he also owns a Lamborghini Urus. Yes, the SUV of millionaires. It's fast, comfortable, and perfect for city driving. But the best part? He uses it to take his daughter to school. And that, according to him, is his real luxury. Isn't it curious that among all those millions, the most valuable thing to him is a 20-minute drive? And the crown jewel of Ferrari's sports cars couldn't be missing, the 458 Speciale. Valued at more than 700,000 euros, this car is light, aggressive, and pure driving pleasure. But what no one tells you is that Canelo bought it second-hand. Yes, believe it or not. And he did it because it used to belong to a professional driver he admired as a kid. It wasn't just a car, it was a symbol. Those details you don't see on Instagram, they're what define who he really is. And speaking of rarities, the Brabus B63 S766 is an extreme version of the Mercedes-Benz. Worth over 700,000 euros, it looks like a military spaceship. The curious thing, he had it armored even more. Is he afraid for his safety? Or is he just always prepared? Theories abound. Some say it's because he received threats after one of his most controversial fights. But that, only he knows. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Because his love for engines doesn't stop at cars. He also collects motorcycles, and not just any kind. We're talking about unique, museum-level pieces. Like his Ducati Triplex, a limited edition originally designed for the brand's museum. Only a handful were made, and Canelo owns one. It's worth over $50,000, but it's not for sale. It's so rare that several collectors have tried to buy it from him, unsuccessfully. And when he wants to cruise through the city with the wind in his face, he rides his Harley-Davidson CVO Road Glide. A robust, customized bike with a roar that shakes the streets. But it's also sentimental. It was a gift from a close friend before passing away. Since then, it's his Sunday ride. Small details that turn material things into emotional treasures. The MV Agusta Fauer Claudio, for example, is one of the hardest bikes to find on the planet. Only 100 exist. It's light, fast, and so precisely engineered it could compete on professional circuits. Canelo keeps it in a special room. He doesn't ride it. He just looks at it. He says it's like owning a breathing work of art. And his BMW HP Fauer Race, well, that's next level. A superbike with a carbon fiber frame, Formula One level technology, and brutal power. It's not a motorcycle, it's a statement. But if you had to pick just one, which one would you take? Because the most extreme of them all, without a doubt, is his Ducati Panigale V4R, only 500 in the world. And Canelo guards it like gold. This machine is so powerful it's banned in several European cities. But for him, it represents pure speed. It's his way of feeling that he can still escape from everything. Because even when the world is at your feet, sometimes all you want is to run away. But he doesn't always escape on land. When he needs to move fast, he chooses his private jet, the Embraer Legacy 500, a plane worth over $18 million. And no, it's not rented. It's his. It seats 12 people, has seats that turn into beds, flat screens, surround sound, and even a full kitchen. Canelo can fly with family, his team, or just alone, while playing video games 45,000 feet in the air. But here's something few people know. That jet was his first big splurge after signing the most lucrative contract of his career. A contract he almost didn't sign because of a detail that still hasn't been revealed publicly. And if the sky is his, so is the sea. Because Canelo has his own yacht, the Canelo's Chip, worth $60 million. Over 100 feet long, with a jacuzzi, cinema rooms, luxury cabins, and all the water toys you can imagine. Paddleboards, jet skis, outdoor BBQ. It's like a floating resort. And the weirdest part, he barely uses it. Some say he bought it because of social pressure. Others, that it was a promise to his daughter. The truth is, the yacht is there, waiting. Like another reminder that the top can be lonely. And now the question is for you, what would you do with that kind of power? Do you think having it all guarantees happiness? Or do you believe, like many others, that Canelo is just trying to fill a void that has nothing to do with cars, jets, or yachts? Tell me in the comments. Because what's coming in the final part will completely change how you see this boxing legend. Can you imagine owning a horse that costs more than a luxury car? Or receiving a gift from Vicente Fernandez worth a fortune and carrying a deep emotional meaning? That's how Saul Canelo Álvarez lives. But the most shocking part isn't what he owns, it's what each of those things means to him. Behind every jewel, yacht, or horse, there's a story. And today you're about to discover the most intimate and revealing side of one of the most powerful figures in global sports. Because yes, Canelo doesn't just fight in the ring. He's also fought silent battles, made sacrifices, endured and reinvented himself. And what he proudly shares on social media is only the tip of the iceberg. The yacht. Luxurious, elegant, with resting cabins that feel like a five-star hotel. But it's not just there to show off. That space has become his sanctuary, his escape after a bloody fight or grueling training. That's where he's healed wounds not always visible. He's cried over losses, celebrated victories, and shared silence with the people he truly loves. Can you imagine waking up in the middle of the ocean, surrounded only by your family and the sound of the waves? That's how Canelo recharges his soul. That yacht isn't just a symbol of luxury. It's part of his therapy. And that's not all. His private jet, the Embraer Legacy 500, isn't just a way to move fast. It's a space where decisions are made, fights are visualized, and every step of his empire is planned. An empire that has long gone beyond boxing. Because what few people know is that Canelo has taken his vision far beyond the ring. The man who wears Dolce & Gabbana lined with Swarovski diamonds doesn't do it to brag. He does it because every outfit, every accessory is a reminder of how far he's come. Remember those diamond-studded shorts he wore during training? They weren't just to attract attention. They were a statement. A look at me, I made it, but also, no one gave me anything. Over 20 luxury watches. Some cost more than a house. Crazy. Maybe. But also a way to express his obsession with detail, with exclusivity. One of his treasures is the RM-26 Tourbillon or Evil Eye by Richard Mille. A watch that looks like it belongs in a movie, with a design that evokes power and danger. And yes, it costs more than $1 million. Every piece in his collection is an extension of his personality. He doesn't buy on impulse. He buys stories. And if we're talking stories, we can't ignore Nobi. Did you know this Shire horse breed can weigh over a ton and still move with incredible grace? Canelo calls him automatic for a reason. Because he's perfect. Because he knows him so well that just by climbing on, the horse already knows what to do. That bond can't be bought. It's built. But the one that truly holds a special place in his heart is spirit. A gift from Vicente Fernandez. A symbol of respect, tradition, and heritage. When Canelo talks about spirit, you can hear it in his voice. He's not just a horse. He's a legacy. And he named him after the movie Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, for a reason. The horse represents his indomitable spirit, his way of living, his way of never giving up. How can you not get emotional watching him pet Spirit like he's part of his soul? Horses have always been there for him. Since that first mare his father had to sell when he was a child. Since those tears he shed, promising himself one day he'd have his own ranch. Today that ranch is called Las Reinas, and it's home to more than 35 purebred horses, each with a story, each carrying a piece of Canelo's heart. Who says a boxer can't be sensitive? Who says he can't have the soul of an artist, an animal lover, a dreamer? Canelo has shown that success isn't about what you have, it's about what you do with it. That greatness is measured in how you use your power, to inspire, to share, to honor your roots. And did you know his daughter competes in equestrian events? Emily Cinnamon has inherited his love for horses. And that says a lot. Because more than money, what Canelo really wants to leave behind is an emotional legacy. A way of life. A respect for discipline. A passion for living. And if that's not enough for you, there's more. Something that proves Canelo never stops evolving. Golf. Yes, the same man who throws punches like thunder now swings a club with surgical precision. Not for luxury, not for fashion, but because he found in golf a new way to train his mind. And you know what he said in an interview? Golf taught me to focus. It taught me that if I get angry, I lose the game. Just like in boxing. And that's deep. Because behind his physical strength, what really makes Canelo great is his mental control. His mind. His focus. His ability to fall and come back stronger. Canelo isn't just a boxer. He's a man with values, with scars, with dreams, with a story worth telling beyond the punches. Would you like to see a video where we reveal the saddest moment of his life? The one that almost made him quit everything? Hit the like button if any of these revelations surprised you. Comment which of his horses you'd love to meet in person. Nobi, Espartano, or Spirit. And tell me, have you ever had something that emotionally connects you to your past? Because if Canelo teaches us anything, it's that luxury means nothing without purpose. And that true champions aren't just measured by their titles, but by how they live their passions. If you made it this far, you're already part of this story. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because soon we'll be revealing the best-kept secrets of Canelo's inner circle. Stories no one dares to tell. But we will. And now, tell me, who is Canelo Álvarez, really? A champion? A horse lover? A man who turned pain into glory? Or maybe, all of the above? See you in the next video.